Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show, ladies and gentlemen. Don't touch that remote. We got a great show here today. Got a friend from way back, and he's got so many talents. Man of all reasons and seasons and what have you. But I first met him when he was a reporter for the Northtown Times Herald, a sports reporter, police reporter. He's come to the police station, check on crime in Norristown, and he used to cover the news like the do. Just covered it all, you know. And we became great friends. And now he's retired, and he is a songwriter, you know. And so I want you to meet my good friend, Gordon Glantz. Rock.
Rock, always a pleasure.
All right. Now, you're a songwriter, right?
Right. Well, that's what I hope I'm considered a songwriter. I guess if you write a song, you're a songwriter.
Oh, you used to write a song about Columbus? Columbus, the queen of the ocean.
I have written songs about Columbus, but I don't think you'd want to hear them.
Well, I got one in Norristown. You come over there and you sing it right there at the monument.
I don't think so. I don't think that would work too well, but that's okay.
You know, we're hooking up with the zoo now, the zoo and the thing.
So now you like the zoo, right?
Now I like them, yeah. Well, I'd say I went to the Norristown Zoo, you know.
Right.
I'm always pushing for Norristown.
Hey, that's a great place. We've always taken.
Let me say something about my man here. Let me see. Gordon Glantz. He is a sports writer. He's a songwriter, sports writer. Writes about ice hockey, football, baseball. He's a family man, little bambina. I knew it, which is little than that. It's Sophia. He's a home guy, taking care of his kids, take her to school in the morning and pick her up at night. And he's a critic. You know, sometimes I don't agree with the way he goes, but, you know, he looks at it in a different light. And he's knows more about the subject than I do, but I'll challenge you in boxing, though. You can talk all you want about baseball, football, ice hockey, but I'll give you a battle on boxing.
I'm sure you will. Yep.
And so now, songwriter, do you dance?
No.
No.
I don't sing. I don't dance.
And you don't sing?
No.
Well, how do you sing love songs? Is it a love song?
There's not much.
Here it is.
Here it is right there. No, these aren't really love songs. No, it's.
Well, you got here, Time of Day, it's the name of the song.
Uh-huh.
Recovering Road.
Recovery Road, right?
What's that about?
Recovery Road's about, you know, I don't like to make them very specific so people can attach their own meaning to it, but it's about somebody who's maybe been in a bad place and they're working their way back, you know, working their way back and they're starting.
Does that, your crime reporter have something to do with that?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I've known people who've gone through recovery, but it's not literal. People going through recovery.
Second chance.
Second chance, same kind of thing, but from a different perspective. Same kind of thing. Your person wants a second chance. A lot of people, everybody's struck out in their life, and they want a second chance at bat, and that's kind of what it's about.
Right, and then Ballad of It. What's that?
Ballad of It is interesting because, in a couple ways, we have. I wrote that song goes all the way back to high school for me. I wrote that in high school.
Philadelphia.
Yeah. At Northeast High School, that's when I started writing songs, and that is a lot of these songs are new, but that's an old song. So that's kind of cool for me to pull one out of an old notebook that I had years ago, and we also had a guest vocalist on there, Peggy Becker Delasante, who's a Norristown.
My paisan.
Yeah, and she's from she lives in Bridgeport. She was in Norristown for many years, Main Changes. So she was a guest vocalist on there along with our lead vocalist, Terry Camilleri, and they did a great job trading off vocals on there. And it has a real cool intro on the song, has a real throwback 60s vibe, classic rock vibe. So we're really proud of that song.
You got here, $1 million words. Now, I don't know what your $1 million words, I'll tell you what mine are. Go ahead.
Well, the chorus in that song is, your $1 million words aren't worth a dime. I'm blanking on the rest of it. I should know because I wrote it, but basically that's somebody, basically what that's about, and we've all met people like that, right? There's people who they don't really want to, they don't really know, they don't even want to know you enough to know your name, right? They know your, right? They won't even acknowledge your presence until they need you. Then you're their best friend.
Yeah.
So that's basically, I was thinking of a couple people there, and that's basically who that song's about.
Well, if I was going to write $1 million words, it would be spaghetti, ravioli, pasta vaso, you know? They're $1 million words. All right, now you got Moment of Truth.
Moment of Truth, a story song about war, soldiers going to war, and then what they, the character in the song, while he isn't physically injured, he's not the same when he comes back.
Yeah.
And then
what they go through.
What they go through, and so.
Yeah. Burning the candle on both ends. Well, I think I know what that, I've met a lot of people that,
Burn a candle on both ends. A lot of work went into that song, and what it's about is it's about exactly what it says. I mean, as you get older, it's more of an adult-themed song. Yeah. I don't mean that in the wrong and X-rated kind of way. I mean adult. Yeah. When you get older, I mean you have to balance work and family, and it affects both. If you work too much, it affects your family. If you spend too much time with your family, it affects your work, and it gets to be an almost impossible thing to do, right? And the candle burns at both ends, and it gets closer and closer, and so that's what that one's about.
Scary Mary. That's who hit Nellie in the belly with a meatball. I don't know about that one.
Scary Mary is, it has a real 60s kind of sound to it on purpose. Kind of sounds like the Monkees. I don't know if you remember the Monkees.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a person I was having some debates with on Facebook, political debates, named Mary. And I started calling her Scary Mary.
Oh.
And she's actually flattered I wrote the song about her. I put it up on Facebook.
But some of these are inspiring.
Yeah, and so that's sort of...
It talks about victory, talk about defeat, how to handle it.
Yeah, different. A lot of it's about, battle for redemption, to try to work yourself back into, so.
Well, it's, if people, you play a song or play it, and you want to hear the words, because you put words in there and you got to make it, blend. All right, now we got, look at that, the audience. The guy up there with the blue shirt.
Oh, okay, all right.
All right, here, you answer. Here's a question he's asking up in the balcony.
It's a good question.
Go ahead.
Good question. It must be somebody familiar with our previous album.
What is it?
It says, how is this album stronger than your first?
All right.
Because we had our first one that came out in 2014 that I talked
the first one, what was it most about?
Well, the first one had a lot of older songs that I had written, like in college. And, so it kind of was all over the place, but it had some really good, strong material on it. But what the recording process, we record around the corner from here at Morning Star Studios in East Norton. And the recording process, we learned a lot about it. And we were able to put a lot into practice on this album from that standpoint. How to integrate new instruments. We added a lot more piano in here. There's a lot more piano and keyboards and synthesizer. And the guy we had is extremely talented. His name's John Conahan. He's a music teacher at Wissahickon High School. He added a new level to this, and we added a fiddle player. Gary Oliar, who has a really long resume. He's played with Loggins and Messina and Jim Messina, and he spends a lot of time in Nashville, but when he was up here, we caught him a few times. He added fiddle and violin and viola to a lot of these songs. So we definitely expanded our sound on this from the first one.
Well, when you select the music, you try to make it like trumpets and saxophones and strings and all. What do you favor?
It kind of depends what vibe you're going for. I have a partner, Terry Camilleri. She's a Lansdale resident, and she works in Plymouth Meeting, and she was my songwriting partner on the first one. She's also the lead vocalist, and she's responsible for the melodies and the melodies and the music, and so a lot of times when I write, not all the time, but a lot of times when I write the lyrics, I give an idea, like the first song, Time of Day. I wanted to do something in the spirit of a lot of the old Bob Seger songs. I know you probably don't know who Bob Seger is, but he was really big in the 70s and 80s. He had a certain kind of song, a certain kind of vibe, and I wanted to go for that kind of vibe. So that's when the piano came in and some of the other instruments we use. So it depends what we're shooting for on a particular song, what instruments we're going to bring in.
All right, here's another question for the lady up there with the green dress. She still has it on from she's most likely still celebrating St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
And here,
She didn't go
what's
home
it
yet,
say?
huh? Okay. What process do you use from taking a song from page to recording? Well, the process is I have tons of lyrics. I write I'd say on average a song a day lyrically. If there's something I like that kind of
inspired
I'll
you.
sleep on it, and I have a process where I kind of like I write them on my iPad. I send it from my iPad to my home computer, and then I look at them again, and maybe I edit it. And if it's still, you sleep on it, and if it still sounds good, it still rings true to me. Sometimes you write something you're excited about, then you read it again, you're like, eh. And sometimes it happens the other way around. And you kind of rediscover something you almost forgot you wrote. I'll send it along to Terry with some notes. She'll let me know what she thinks. Sometimes she isn't thrilled with the song or whatever, and sometimes she really likes it and she plays around with it and she sends it back. And almost all the time I like what she sends back. And then we then move forward with going into the studio and we present it to Glenn Barrett over at Morning Star and talk about how we're going to attack the song. And then we build the song, bring it in the musicians, usually start with acoustic guitar or piano, and then we build on top of that with bass and drums. One new thing on this album
A lot
also.
of planning, right?
One new thing on this album also, we had a different bass player. His name's Chico Huff, and he's a Norristown resident. So I figured a lot of your viewers would be interested in
I've
that.
got another one right in the front row here. Guy right up in the front row there.
All right, well, for the guy in the front row,
Joe Bookright.
the guy in the front row is good thing he's
Joe Bookright. That's a question he sent up.
good thing he's sitting close because he lobbed in a softball here. Who are your musical inspirations? So, certainly from a lyric standpoint, I always say that Bob Dylan's in my head and Bruce Springsteen's in my heart. So they're my main inspirations, but there's so many hundreds, thousands of people who've written songs that have inspired me. Maybe somebody who's done one song, one and dones, we call them one-hit wonders, that I still that have affected me, that still influence me on some level. So, here's my feeling with music. No matter what the genre is, whether it's country, whether it's rock, classic rock,
Right.
no matter what it is good and bad is
I
bad.
like classical singing and all. Andre Bocelli.
Good is good, bad is bad, no matter what the genre is. You can't get locked down on, I only like this kind of music because you're really going to deprive yourself. And when you're trying to do this, you deprive yourself of more influences coming in to expand your music, which I think we did on this album. I think we expanded our music a lot.
But growing up, you were very close with your dad, going to baseball games and all. They went to musicals and things too. What inspired you? Like mostly, you became a writer, and you told me a story one time that you used to communicate with your mom. You write instead of answering the question. You would write the question and all. So that
I was always
right. I think that's a good idea.
I was always better at doing that because I had, I grew up in a broken home. My parents were divorced when I was young, so my mother was married to an Italian guy. Paisano from South Philly. And he liked to I think he thought if he talked louder than you, he was right. And my father was also kind of domineering. He needed to have the last word as well. So when you're a kid trying to explain yourself, it's tough. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But if you can write it down,
that's good.
Right? So I think that's how it developed. I come from a family of writers as well. I have a lot of relatives who wrote. I have a family relatives in Mexico. They weren't native Mexicans, but they immigrated to Mexico from Russia instead of here. who were some well-known writers there. So there's writing in my family. And so I think that's in my blood anyway. And so I started doing that. I started slipping the letter under the door, expressing how I felt. And Sophia, my daughter, does a very similar thing.
She does that now?
If she comes home from school and she's very upset about something,
She must be.
a friend hurt her feelings or something happened, she can't really tell us yet. She's too upset. But I'll say, do you want to write about it? And she'll say, yeah, and she'll write it out.
Oh, yeah.
And she'll
Great.
give it to me, and she'll write another piece of paper, and she'll give it to me, and
That's a great thing,
Yeah.
for your kids. To make them write little notes and all and express themselves.
She's getting a little better explaining it, and we want her to. We want her
Comes
to
in
feel,
handy.
We want her to feel like she can talk to us about things.
All right, now we're going to go into another part of your career.
All right.
I got another one here. Oh, here's a long one there. It's a long one.
Okay. If you could pick one song that people should hear to understand Springhouse, what would it be? Wow, that's tough. I guess I'll stick with this CD. I would go with Time of Day. I mean, Time of Day, a lot of people feel it's our best song, and we put it first. You should always put, if you're an unknown, which we are, you should always put your best song first, and or else people aren't going to listen to the second, they're not going to listen to the third, and so forth. Right. So I think Time of Day, I know the guy who played guitar on it, Tom Hampton, he had played on all our stuff on the first CD, and as soon as he played on this one, he said, I like all your stuff, but this is the first one by you guys, me and Terry, that I think people are really going to love, and it's my wife's favorite song by us. And
Did your wife help you with this music and anything?
No, I mean I trust her.
She's a lawyer, right?
Yeah, I trust her opinion because she has good musical tastes, and I like to let her hear the music and see what she thinks. She also there's the Berklee School of Music, which is a pretty well-recognized music school. It's up in New England. She took an online course in music management. She has a certificate,
That's a help.
which is like an equivalent of maybe a 2-year degree. The certificate that she has in music management or business. Yeah, so she did that with this in mind, so that if I ever do get presented with a contract, and she would offer me her opinions, and actually we were presented with a contract once, and she kind of read through the small print and realized it wasn't a good idea for us to go for it.
How about writing a song about me? How about the song, Cisco was a friend of mine. Remember that song? Cisco's a friend of mine.
Well, there's a song called Cisco Kid, I remember, from the 70s, but I don't know if the same song you're thinking of.
We went to fights together down at the Spectrum, right? And then after we stopped in Cutchahock and had us a sandwich.
Yeah, I know.
We were sitting there, and the one waiter come over and thought that we were from the
Sopranos. That was one of the best moments of my life. That was great. The guy comes up and says, I feel like I'm watching a Sopranos episode. So that was great. That was awesome.
Who were we with? Pat Mascara?
Mike Morsch was there. And
newspaper reporter.
Doc Holton was there.
Who?
Holton, the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a couple other guys. I can't remember now.
Hey, we looked like hit people, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
we scared the guy, but he gave us good service.
He did.
Because he
did.
We were going to knock him off. All right, here's another one. But we're talking about this, that, and everything. But let's talk. Where can we hear or see you? What?
We don't really perform live too much. Terry, my partner, does perform live at a couple places. There's a place called the Zen Den in Doylestown. She'll perform there from time to time, and she will perform over at Coffee Talk in Norristown sometimes as well. And some of these songs will be in her set, just acoustically, without instrumentation. We're very much just a studio operation. We throw as much as we can in here with studio musicians. We write the songs, but we turn it over to the studio musicians, other than Terry singing, and get the best song we can. It's very hard to duplicate a lot of what we put into this in a live performance. So we don't really perform live. This is strictly to. We want people to buy these songs, and I'll mention where people can buy songs, and we're really trying to market the music to get on TV shows, movies, commercials, for other performers to record them. So we just want the best recordings we can for that. We're a little too old to play live, you know. So.
Yeah. Well, here's another one. You know, somebody's in the audience, a music guy knows a little about music. Some of the questions are coming.
Special
They're
appearances.
asking questions. The professionals. Go ahead.
Well, we had the studio musicians we used. We had a guy, Kevin Hansen, on guitar that was new to the CD. He plays more of a rock kind of guitar. We have Tom Hampton, who was on the first CD. He plays more of that country folk kind of guitar. And there's a couple of songs they're both on. And Gary Oliar, I mentioned, fiddle, viola, and he's well accomplished. John Conahan, he's the music teacher from Wissahickon. He's very talented. He plays anything with keys. He plays.
Yeah.
And then, like I mentioned before, Peggy Becker Delasante was a guest vocalist on a song. I'm afraid I might be missing somebody, and I wouldn't want to do that. But
Yeah.
Our drummer, Grant McAvoy, played on a lot of that stuff from the 70s. This was called the Sound of Philadelphia stuff, Philly International Records. He played drums
Here's
on a lot.
another one here. Read it out loud.
How has the transition to this music career changed your life?
All right, I want to get a little personal with you now.
Yeah. I think it was one thing that was been kind of missing in my life. In a lot of ways, I kind of got through high school. It's a tough time. You get through high school and college.
Yeah, but some of these school buddies, they think you're a little wacky because you were music and all that stuff.
No, they were.
Because you blended with sports.
Yeah. I mean, it was fine. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody
it
thought it
wasn't
was
like a
everybody thought it was cool, and but really, to write, again, it goes back to writing my feelings down. And as I got into my career, the more I got into my career and deeper into it, the less I was able to do this. To the point, I would sometimes go years between. I still wrote songs, but it would be 4 years between songs, 6 years between songs. Now I'm back to writing every day, and you don't get your first reactions maybe if somebody annoys you to get mad at them or whatever. Now you can say, well, I can write a song about it, and I could get over it that way, So, and it's just this is always what my passion has been. Always, I mean, ever since sports and music are always my two passions. But I'm not 6'11". I couldn't play in the NBA.
Right.
I loved hockey, but I couldn't skate well enough.
There's
so
another one here.
How do you get your songs on iTunes and Spotify? Very simple. We're on there. We go through this company called CD Baby, which you can buy the physical CD from. You can hold this up to the camera. You can buy, if you want to get an actual CD, you can buy it through CD Baby or listen to samples. But CD Baby, part of the what they do is they put it out for you on iTunes. So if you go to iTunes and do a search on Springhouse Revival, one word Springhouse, capital H, although I think it comes up. It comes up anyway. And iTunes, it's there. You can buy individual songs, or you can download the whole CD. Same thing on Spotify, and also on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel.
This show will be on YouTube too.
Yeah, so it's on YouTube. You can watch both. You can watch us on YouTube, and then you could plug in Springhouse Revival in the search, and our whole channel. Every song that we've recorded is on has a video.
Where they buy these? You buy them to the stores? What stores? Any stores where you can get these?
The CD around here. I'm going to drop some off to our friend at Sinorama, Gene.
Gene, and also
Gene sold out.
How about Greco-Roman?
Greco-Roman, I'll get them some.
Every Friday or Saturday night they have the theater over there.
Okay.
They have singers.
And there's
you got to stop on Friday night. They're going to be the two sisters are going to be singing.
Cole's Custom Framing.
Play it.
Cole's Custom Framing down in Conshohocken. We've sold the first CD there, and I'm going to bring him some new copies of this as well. And I'm going to bring Gene. I know Gene sold out of the first CD, and I'm going to bring him more copies of the first CD. And what we're going to do is make it a package for people who didn't get the first one. They can get both for a discount rate that they want to buy.
Get these here up at Greco-Roman. Leave some up there.
We'll meet for lunch.
This Friday night you got a show there.
We'll meet for lunch there, and we'll drop them off.
And then we got Katie Sue from China. She sings beautiful songs.
Okay.
She'll be there the following Friday or Saturday, you know.
All right.
I got one song here. It says here, no going to play with me.
Not going to play with me.
That's my God, but is that Italian? You're not going to play with me? What's the matter with you? Hey, Gombadi, si Wassanati. Yeah, you can record that. The rock. Rock around the clock.
We probably wouldn't do it justice.
Huh?
We probably wouldn't do that sort of justice, yeah.
All right. Now, let's talk a little sports.
I'm always up to talk sports.
The Eagles.
Okay.
What's going to happen? Are they going to have a good year?
I don't know. I think it's a process, and I'm
I see something about they're going to bring this guy Foles back, quarterback.
Foles is back. He's a backup. He'll be the backup quarterback, though. He's not going to start.
He's going to be a backup, and
Yeah.
he's doing good where he's at.
No, he didn't. He was a backup where he was. He was in Kansas City last year.
Oh, he was a backup over there too.
Yeah. He got to play. Got to play once or twice and did well. I think he's good enough to start, but I think here it's a good situation. He's a good guy, and the Eagles have the quarterback they invested a lot in.
He's healthy.
Carson Wentz, yeah, and apparently he has something wrong with his shoulder, but they hope he'll be ready. And Foles will be a good guy to have with him. He won't be complaining I should start, because the thing with Wentz, he's still young. You're still going to have ups and downs with Wentz, so
learn.
you're going to ride him out, and sometimes a backup quarterback may get a little antsy.
All right.
but-
How about baseball? What? Are the
Okay.
Phillies going to do anything?
The Phillies will do something, but I don't know if this is the year. I think they're still in transition. They have a lot of talent in the farm system, really good talent in the farm system, and so I think the Phillies' future is bright this year. I don't know.
Well, all right. We only got 30 seconds.
Okay.
And today is your birthday.
It is
All right.
52.
And every little bit of salt there is for every year that you're going to live, right? See
All
that?
right. Yeah, I hope
See
so.
all that, that's how long you're going to live.
Hope it's at
okay?
least 93
Now-
like you.
now, here, blow it out. Okay. All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gordon. Happy birthday to you. Darling, you are growing older. Okay. Congratulations. And
Time always flies
you're
with
a
you.
very
Yeah.
talented guy, and you're always happy to come back here anytime you come up with a new one, you know.
Anytime.
And
Yeah.
so until we meet again, Rock,
anytime
keep
you-
bobbing and weaving, left hand high, stick and move,
Hey, I just
keep your
want-
chunks off the canvas.
I just want to say one more time.
Go ahead.
If you want to get the music, CD Baby, iTunes, Spotify, watch the videos on YouTube. We really want to enhance our online
There it
presence.
is.
Yes, or you can buy it, like we talked about it at a couple different stores around here, and you can also buy it, the physical copy from CD Baby online. So I thank everybody in advance for their support.
Okay, thank you so much. So, thank you so much for allowing us to come into your home, and I hope we got some little bit of education about music and also about sports, and a very talented friend of mine here. So, thank you so much. May God bless each and every one. Okay, here's Allah Salud. It means to your health, and when you got your health, you got everything. Allah Salud.
Deep thought gets lost. Before it stayed in my mind. The next could not be caught. Not in time to come out kind. I sink into the big shrink.